A small, fuzzy doll with just 9 teeth just made someone a billionaire. And no, I'm not talking about some horror movies. I'm talking about Labubu, a creature that went from a children's storybook in 2015 to generating 670 million US dollars in revenue in just 6 months of 2025. Who would have thought that a simple toy could compete in a way that it's everywhere? Everyone is talking about it. Stores can't keep up on shelves, and the market is flipping upside down. If you were a boomer, you would be saying insane trash, or maybe laughing on stupid behavior of Generation Z. But you can't deny the fact that someone made absolute millions and is on the way to cash it in the billion-dollar markets. So how does a toy that looks like it crawled out of a Nordic fairy tale do this? Stick around, because this startup story breaks every rule in the playbook. Hey, I'm Niclas. I'm driving fundraising for growth stage startups at spectup, building strategy, investor readiness, and reaching out to venture capitals, family offices, or angel investors to get companies funded. Through spectup X, I handle private placements connecting public and private traded companies with investors. So I see both sides of the table. And trust me, I have seen so many companies trying to scale. But what Pop Mart did with Labubu, this is something completely different. Before we dive in, if you are interested in fundraising strategies, investor readiness, or how companies actually blow up markets, hit that subscribe button and like this video, because we are going to break down some serious business gold here. Let's go back to 2015. There is this Hong Kong-based artist called Kasing Lung. He's been living in Belgium and he's obsessed with Nordic fairy tales since he was a child. You know, elves, folklore, that mystical stuff. And he thinks, what if I created my own tribe of mystical elves? So he launches an illustrated book series called The Monsters. And in this series, there is this Labubu. I honestly also didn't know this until I started my research, because this monster is everywhere. Well, a playful, kind-hearted elf with pointy ears, white eyes, and 9 very visible, sharp teeth. Not exactly your typical cute character, right? Here is the thing. The book does okay. I mean, it's a niche. Art collectors like it, but it's not breaking the internet or anything. Now, most entrepreneurs would have stopped here. Cool art project, but let's move on. And I would have done the same. But Kasing Lung, he had bigger plans. And in 2019, he thought about giving it a try. Now, that was one part of the story. Let's now speak about what is happening on the other side. This is 2019 and we are entering Pop Mart. If you don't know Pop Mart, it's a Chinese toy company. They invented the blind box craze in China. Think mystery boxes, but for collectible toys. You don't know which figure you are getting until you open it. Ta-da! Surprise! Not once, not twice, but every time you purchase. You guess? You might lose. I would describe it as Pokemon cards that meet designer art toys. And some people have a craze for these things. So Pop Mart had already created hits with characters like Molly and Skull Panda. But when they saw Labubu, they knew they had something special. In 2019, they signed an exclusive licensing deal with Kasing Lung. And here's where the startup magic happens. Pop Mart didn't just sell Labubu, they created an ecosystem around it. They did 3 genius things. Number 1, they turned Labubu into blind boxes. You want a specific color? Too bad. You might get mint green, you might get purple, you might get a secret edition that only appears 1 in 72 times. This is perfect FOMO on stereo. Because if I would really want to get purple, but I always get another color, then I would do everything and buy it again and again so that I finally get the color of my choice. Why? Because I love purple. That is actually crazy, right? But this is really happening. Number 2, they made them affordable but collectible. 8 cm figures for 15 bucks. No worries, I can bet on this as one of my hobbies. But then they released limited editions. 79 figures for 960 bucks. Even museum exclusives at the Louvre. Now that is called the ultimate FOMO. Suddenly you are not just buying a tool, you are buying into a culture. Number 3, they kept it exclusive. Pop Mart releases new Labubus every Thursday at 9 p.m. and Fridays at 10 a.m. in the store. People were camping outside of the stores. Supreme dop, you know. Have you ever bought something just because you knew it was limited or rare? Like maybe you didn't want it that badly, but you might not get it later. The fear that made you pull the trigger. Drop a comment below and tell me what it was. Maybe a concert ticket or sneakers or even a Labubu? I'm super curious about that because this is exactly the psychology that Pop Mart is using. Okay, so now let's enter 2023. Labubu is doing very well in China. It's a solid product, people are making money, but it's mostly still an Asian thing. Then April 2024 happens. Lisa from BLACKPINK, one of the biggest K-pop stars on the planet, posts a photo on Instagram with a Labubu keychain hanging from her bag. I mean, just really hanging there. She doesn't say anything about it. She's not even endorsing it. But her 104 million followers, they notice. Within weeks, Labubu goes from that quirky toy to a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Pop Mart stores in Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, and suddenly out of nowhere you see people fighting for it. You see a cult, like actual physical altercations. Pop Mart had to pause sales in the UK for safety reasons. By mid-2025, Rihanna is posting about Labubus. David Beckham's daughter is gifting them to him, and Kylie Jenner's kid is picking them out of a Pop Mart store. This little Nordic elf monster has infiltrated Hollywood, K-pop and high fashion. And you know what? All above celebrity fans are a cult. I mean, it blew up the market within days, not years, days. Here's the lesson for any founder watching this. You can have the best product in the world, but one moment of cultural relevance, one celebrity, one viral post can compress years of marketing into days. Now let's talk about numbers, because here is where it's getting insane. If I were you, I would be shocked to see this now. Pop Mart's total revenue in 2024, $1.8 billion. The Monster series, that also includes Labubus, $430 million. That's 23% of revenue just from one product. Now the first half of 2025, the Monster series alone, $670 million. That's nearly 35% of Pop Mart's total revenue. In 6 months, Labubu outperformed its full revenue of 2024. But here's another shocker. Pop Mart's overall revenue of 2025, nearly $2 billion. That's a 204% year-over-year increase in revenue. The CEO Wang Ning, his net worth went from $1.8 billion in 2024 to $21 billion in 2025. He became the youngest member of the Chinese top 10 billionaires list, and he's just 38 years old. All because of designer toys. Are you now scratching your head? Feeling insane, right? And if you now think this is just an Asian thing, no. America's revenue, that's the US, Canada, but also Latin America, grew by 1,142% just in the first half of 2025. Let me repeat, 1,142%. Now, if you are watching and thinking, okay, cool story, but how does this apply to my own business? This is exactly the kind of strategic thinking we help our clients at spectup. Whether you are a growth stage company trying to figure out go-to-market, or you are preparing to pitch to investors and you need to show them how you are going to scale like Pop Mart. We work with you to build that story, build your pitch deck and make you fully investor ready. Because here's again the truth. Pop Mart didn't just get lucky with Labubus. They understood their customer psychology. They built a scalable distribution model. They created artificial scarcity. And they timed their cultural moments perfectly. So if you want help build exactly this type of strategy, then please find the link to our company in the description box. Let's talk. So how is Pop Mart now taking this success and scaling the company globally? Because every company can have one viral moment, but the question is, how can you sustain this? How can you diversify your product market fit? And Pop Mart is doing 5 things. Physical retail domination. They are opening 100 plus stores in 2025 alone. We are talking flagship locations in Paris, in Berlin, in London. They are making Labubu accessible, but still exclusive. Automated robot shops. They have over 2,000 robot vending machines. Low cost, high efficiency, and they can even test new markets without a lot of capital. That's super smart. Brand collaborations. They did a Coca-Cola Winter Blind Box series, a one-piece manga crossover, museum exclusives. And you know what is the crazy part? They are keeping Labubu fresh and relevant across demographics. Community building. The most important one, I personally would say, it's about the loyalty of your customer. They are targeting the generation that is in general more loyal, that has also the syndrome of being alone. So Gen Z, kid adults. Pop Mart has 46 million members in their loyalty program, and 90% of their sales come from repeat customers. This is a fan base. Content expansion. They are launching a Labubu anime with 156 episodes in 2025. They opened Popland, a theme park in Beijing, China. I would say they are building an entertainment empire. Now, I'm not here to just hype it up. Let's talk about risks, because every investor I work with wants to know what could kill this. Risk number 1, IP fatigue. Labubu is nearly 35% of Pop Mart's revenue. What happens if people get bored? What if the next character doesn't hit? Over-reliance on just one IP or one product in the B2C space is very dangerous. But they already have the solution, so keep watching. Risk number 2, regulations. In June 2025, Pop Mart's revenue was dropping 6.6% because of concerns of the addictive nature of blind boxes. Some people compared to gambling. So boxes can't cost more than $30 and kids under 8 can't buy them alone. And I think there is more risk. More regulations can come, and even per country it can become very complicated. Risk number 3, fakes. There are fake Labubus everywhere. People call them La Fufu. Everything have a cheap copy, right? Pop Mart is suing retailers, but it's of course very difficult. Risk number 4, cultural scaling. What works in Asia doesn't always work in Western countries. Pop Mart is betting very big on the US, but obviously US consumers are very different. So the real question is if they can really crack this market long term. So what did we now learn in this video? Lesson 1. Psychology really matters. Blind boxes, FOMO, scarcity. For you it's a toy, but they sold emotions and experiences. Think of it as a Gen Z, addicted to phones, working with AI and blowing everything up within just days. How would you see them? They would love something that reminds them of being loyal. If you are Generation Z, I would love to hear from you. Lesson number 2, cultural moments are everything. Just one celebrity moment turned this very niche product into a global phenomenon. And let me correct here, one celebrity post, specifically K-pop. I mean, we all know how insane this is. Lesson number 3, scaling requires infrastructure. Pop Mart didn't just wait the Labubu wave. They built stores, robot shops and loyalty programs and content ecosystems to sustain it. And lesson 4, diversify before you peak. Pop Mart knows that Labubu won't last forever, so they are launching new IPs, they are building theme parks and creating content. So whether you are building a startup, pitching investors or just trying to understand how companies scale, study what Pop Mart did here. Because I would say they perfectly cracked the target group's psychology and I love their strategy. If you find this helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more startup breakdowns like this. And drop a comment below what company should I analyze next. And if you are looking to get funded, then definitely check out our website and reach out to us. I would love to meet you. I'll see you in the next one.